Hi, I'm Mike Turner, offensive coordinator and offensive line coach at Carson-Newman College. Today we're going to talk about offensive line techniques and fundamentals pertinent to the split back veer offense. I think in coaching the offensive line, you have to start with a foundation and work your way up. And we believe here at Carson-Newman that the first part of that foundation is to be able to put a player in a good preset position to a stance and then to be able to come out of the stance to execute. The first part of a good stance is being able to get in a preset position. What we're trying to do in our preset position is get our players ready to also be able to pass block and run block out of it at the same time. So when we get in a preset position, we're asking them to get their feet at shoulder width apart, try to take their toes and pigeon toe them inside. All right, at that point, they're going to come down and put their hands on the thigh pads, drop their tail, sink their hips right there, and at this position right there, we should be able to come off and run block, or we should be able to pass and set block at the same time. The reason we want them to take a little bit of a pigeon toe inside with their feet is so as they work their way in their stance, the worst they'll come back out is a straight position. They've got their heels slightly off the ground, about 1/4 inch off the ground. We don't want to get flat-footed because that'll give away whether it's a pass or a run at the same time. When we get in a stance and we're trying to drill them, we're going to get in a preset that we feel like they're comfortable in it. And then we'll go from there and say down and put the hand down and be in a stance. All right, here we go, preset. Down. All right, as you walk around, if you tell a guy just slightly raise his tail, right here is good, right here is good, need to raise his tail just a little bit right there, but they're looking through their eyebrows, fingertips on the ground, they got 50% on the balls of their feet and on their hands. The offhand here is cocked that it can come and replace it. And when you release them, you just say go and they'll come out of stance, go. All right, right there. All right, good, good. Probably the most overlooked part of an offensive line play today is being able to get a kid in a good stance. So what we're asking them to do is go ahead and get in the preset position right here. And we're telling them to get their heels off the ground, that we want 50% of the weight on the balls of their feet. All right, from this position, they're going to put their hand on the ground. And as they put it down, they're going to put the down hand out even with their knee, out in front of it, on their fingertips, have 50% on the fingertips, 50% on the balls of their feet. All right, here we go, down. All right, right there's a good look at a stance right here. We got fingertips. We're on the balls of our feet right there. What we try to do is take the offhand and place it beside of the knee so it doesn't rest and get a lunge type thing with that other hand as they get more tired during the game. If they have the hand beside of the knee here, when the ball is snapped, it can replace it right now and take care of it. They should be looking through their eyebrows right there, not pulling their head back, being uncomfortable. And you can see they've got their tail slightly above their head right there in that position. I think the most important part is the stance, how to get in the stance. The second part of that is how to come out of the stance. So we talk about stance and start. It's just like being a track guy, even though you're dealing with offensive linemen. So we want to make sure we got a good sound base, and that's their stance, that those kids can get in that stance and be able to come out of it and be a football player. And the most important part after a good stance is how to get out of it. All right, we got 3 young men here. We're going to go preset position with them right here. All right, go ahead and be in the preset. Okay, now from here, we'll take them and say down. And we're going to work on the first step coming out of their stance. And we work on it as just a pickup step. And what we're trying to get them to do when they come out of their stance is just take the foot that we call for and just pick it up and put it down. The worst thing that happens in an offensive lineman coming off the line of scrimmage to block is that he oversteps that first step. He gets in this position. When he gets in this position and makes contact with a defensive lineman, he's going to corkscrew and come off the block. So what we try to teach him is this. When you make contact with a defensive lineman, make sure you got both feet on the ground. The only way to do that is to make sure that you don't overstep the first step. So we simply call it a pickup step. So we'll get them in the preset position, we'll say down, and we'll go right foot, pickup step, and freeze. When they take that pickup step, that's like cocking the gun. Those thumbs are going to come back toward the breastplates. They're going to be looking through their eyebrows. They're going to be flat back and ready to attack. All right, here we go. Right foot, pickup step, and freeze. Down. Go. Freeze. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Now, we come out of a stance pretty good. You want to make sure that the player understands about keeping his hands open right there, that he's got his thumbs cocked up near his breastplates, got his hands open. He's behind his pads right here. You don't see anybody off balance right there. Their pads are parallel, their pads are over their knees. So the first step is to take a pickup step and put it down and cock your thumbs. And from there, all you need to do to tell a player is look down at your feet and see how far you stepped. You know, if he's got a step like this, no chance for that block to be successful. If he simply come out of his base position and picked it up and put it down right there, now he's going to be in a good stance when he makes contact. When teaching an offensive lineman blocking, whether it be a drive block, a reach block, a down block, there has to be a hitting position. And we talk about the hitting position being a tripod. And what the hitting position is at the hairline of the head and it's the heels of the hands. And what we try to show him is this. If James here were to bend over at his waist and have his head down right there, now he is not in a good power position. The power position is always with your head up. You know, there's a preset position, there's a stance, that's the power line. Right now, he's not in the power line. There's an offensive lineman right there bent at the waist. That's the weakest point he is. And we try to demonstrate him this way, and we tell him to raise up now. And he can't get up. All right, now he holds his head up. Now I tell him to stand up. And he can't be held down because that's the power line. So the second part of that is we teach him as you get ready to make contact as a blocker, you take your head and you turtle your head. And you turtle your head just like the picture of a turtle out on the highway. His head stuck out of that shell, and he's going to bring it back in here in this position. That's the fit position right there. So when we tell them to turtle their head, these guys know how to bring it in right there. All right, we worked on a pickup step and freeze. We'll do that with a right foot, do it with a left foot, do it with a right foot, a left foot, till that becomes an automatic function for them. And we talk to them about doing something 10, 12, 15 times as a habit. Doing it plus 25 times, 50 times, 100 times, it becomes a skill. So this is a skill for offensive linemen. Probably the most important skill is getting themselves in a good hitting position. All right, we'll go preset position. All right, we're going to go right foot, two-step pop. Pickup step is the first step. When they bring that second step, we just tell them it's a catch-up step. All they're going to do is catch up with it. All right, so it's right foot, pickup step, catch-up step, and freeze. Here we go. Down. Go. All right, right there. All right, now here's what we ask them to do. On that first step right there, on that pickup step, they froze right there. They're behind their shoulder pads, got their thumbs in there, cocked and ready to go. On the second step, they're going to punch up. All right, let's go back and do it again right there. All right, we're going to go pickup step and freeze first. All right, here we go. Let's go left foot this time. Left foot, pickup step and freeze. What we want to concentrate on right there is the step, making sure the distance is right, but also that we got those thumbs cocked right there and we got our hands behind our pads. Here we go. Down. Go. Freeze. Right there is good shape. Now when they take that second step, they're going to bring that other foot and it's simply a catch-up step. It catches up with it. And as they bring that, they're going to punch up and they roll their hips. All right, back. Back. All right, here we go. All right, left foot, two-step pop and freeze. Left foot, two-step pop and freeze. Here we go. Down. Go. Punch up right there. Now, what you look for is freeze. Everything's a one-step and freeze or two-step and freeze. And what you're looking for right here is that they got their hips under them, they're behind their pads, their shoulder pads are over their knees, they're punching up. And what you want to make sure of, right here in Jeff's, make sure those elbows are locked out, and if they punch up, okay, now those elbows will lock out. If the thumbs are up, elbows lock. If the thumbs are turned inside, you'll get a bend there and it'll give on the block.